After the discovery of Gabby Petito's body on September 19, 2021, in the Spread Creek dispersed camping area of Wyoming, the grief was immense, but the need for answers became urgent. Her cause of death was chilling: manual strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head. According to the coroner, she had likely been dead for 3 to 4 weeks before she was found, placing her death somewhere between August 27th and 30th, just days after her last known contact. By now, one thing was clear to investigators, the media, and the public. The only person who could truly explain what happened was Brian Laundrie, but Brian was gone. On September 13th, 2 days after Gabby was reported missing, Brian told his parents he was going for a hike at Carlton Reserve, a vast 25,000-acre swampy wilderness in Sarasota County, Florida, filled with alligators, snakes, and thick brush. He never came back. His parents, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, claimed he had left with a backpack and that they hadn't seen or heard from him since. But their behavior raised questions. Why wait until September 17th to report him missing? Why hadn't they informed the police the day he left, especially knowing he was under national scrutiny and possibly connected to a homicide? Public backlash against the Laundrie family surged. Meanwhile, law enforcement mobilized a massive search effort. More than 50 officers from the FBI, Northport Police, and local agencies used drones, K9S, swamp boats, airboats, helicopters, and infrared technology to scan the dense terrain of Carlton Reserve. But they found nothing. Weeks passed. The media camped outside the Laundrie home 24/7. Protesters showed up daily with megaphones, demanding answers. Signs were taped to the front lawn. Chants of "Where's Gabby?" and "Where's Brian?" echoed across the quiet neighborhood. Every move the Laundries made was scrutinized. They rarely left their house. Police and FBI agents were spotted entering the home multiple times, seizing items, speaking with family members, and collecting potential DNA evidence. Inside, it was reported that the FBI gathered Brian's personal items, his computer, cell phone, and handwriting samples. Gabby's parents, Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, begged the public to keep her memory alive while pushing authorities to find Brian. In press interviews, they described Brian's silence as cowardice and accused the Laundries of helping him evade justice. The case became a true crime flashpoint. Celebrities, YouTubers, and TikTok creators continued speculating about Brian's whereabouts. People combed through old footage, including the Moab police body cam, looking for any missed signs of deeper abuse or psychological manipulation. Then, in early October, Dog the Bounty Hunter, Dwayne Chapman, announced he had joined the search. He claimed to have leads and even suggested Brian might be hiding along the Appalachian Trail. Tips poured in from across the country, sightings in Alabama, North Carolina, even Mexico, but none were confirmed. Weeks turned over a month. The pressure intensified, but the Carlton Reserve search yielded no results until October 20th, 2021. That morning, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie contacted the FBI and offered to help search a portion of Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, an area adjacent to Carlton Reserve. It was a strange move, especially since this part of the park had been closed for weeks and had only just reopened to the public. Accompanied by FBI agents, Brian's parents led investigators to a trail Brian often used. Within 30 minutes, the search team made a discovery. They found a dry bag in a backpack believed to belong to Brian. Nearby, they spotted human remains, badly decomposed and partially submerged in water. The area had previously been flooded, which investigators said likely hindered earlier searches. A notebook was found close to the remains, inside a waterproof container. Forensic analysis confirmed what many had feared. The remains were Brian Laundrie. Dental records matched. His cause of death was revealed a few weeks later. Suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. A handgun had been taken from the Laundries' home weeks prior, but never publicly disclosed. The discovery didn't end the case. It only deepened the mystery. What was in the notebook? In January 2022, the FBI released a statement. Inside the notebook, Brian had written a confession in his own hand, taking responsibility for Gabby Petito's death. According to the FBI's summary of the writings, Brian claimed that Gabby had been injured during their travels, that she was suffering, and that he ended her life out of mercy. The language was vague, and many believed it was an attempt to justify or soften the brutality of her death. His explanation clashed directly with the coroner's report. Gabby hadn't died quickly or accidentally. She had been strangled and beaten. No one believed it was a mercy killing. To Gabby's family, it was one more manipulation, one more refusal to tell the full truth. The FBI officially closed the case on January 21st, 2022, declaring that no one else was involved in Gabby's death. All evidence pointed solely to Brian Laundrie. Among the items recovered from his belongings were the notebook with the confession, a revolver used in a suicide, his backpack containing personal items, and the dry bag holding documents. With Brian's death, there would be no trial, no courtroom, no cross-examination, no opportunity for Gabby's family to confront him face to face. The justice system, in a traditional sense, would never get its day. But Gabby's family wasn't finished. In the months following Brian's death, they filed a civil lawsuit against Christopher and Roberta Laundrie. The lawsuit alleged that Brian had confessed a murder to his parents before he went missing, and that his parents then withheld that information from Gabby's family and law enforcement. According to the lawsuit, the Laundries knew Gabby was dead and chose to remain silent. They even went on a family camping trip to Fort DeSoto Park with Brian in early September, after Gabby was already dead. The Petitos called it outrageous and intentional infliction of emotional distress. In February 2024, the lawsuit was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. Though no criminal charges were brought against the Laundrie parents, the Petito family believed the legal action had exposed the truth and held them accountable in some small way. Meanwhile, the FBI handed over the full collection of items recovered from the park, including the notebook, the backpack, and the confession, to Gabby's parents. They didn't want money. They wanted her story told. Gabby Petito had left behind more than photographs and Instagram reels. Her story had cracked open a national dialogue about domestic abuse, toxic relationships, the dangers of romanticized social media, and the devastating cost of silence. Her family established the Gabby Petito Foundation, dedicated to helping families of missing persons and raising awareness about intimate partner violence. They continue to speak at public events, meet with lawmakers, and advocate for change in police training, especially on how officers assess domestic violence calls, like the one in Moab. Though Brian Laundrie was gone and the FBI had closed the case, the world hadn't moved on. Gabby's legacy lived on.